Tribulation Hamartia EP review. Let's chat about it. Hey friends, how's it going tonight? John here from What's Spinning here tonight to chat about this latest EP from Tribulation, one of my favorite metal acts in the world, straight out of Sweden. And if you are subscribed to this channel, you will know one thing about me and my metal. I like my metal campy. I like my metal to be ridiculous, and hearing Tribulation and see where they've come from and where they're at right now has been one of my greatest pleasures in metal over the last couple of years. Their 2009 debut, The Horror, I didn't think it was a perfect album. I thought it was a little rough around the edges. I thought some of the songwriting could be, spiced up a little bit, but it had me listening. I thought the band's personality, their in-your-face nature, and the attention to detail in their music was absolutely fantastic. But around the time of Children of the Night, the band started just scratching so many itches that I didn't even know that I had. To me, they achieved the perfect mix of just campy greatness in metal, but also were shredding the absolute hell out of it. These were really heavy tunes, but they were almost to like Vincent Price levels of goofiness. And by the time Down Below came out, they were easily my front runner for one of my favorite metal acts in the world. I gave the album a very positive review. It was in my top 20 albums of the year. The Lament was in my top 20 singles of the year. Now, the last time we heard from them, When the Gloom Becomes the... Now, the last time we heard from them with Where the Gloom Becomes the Sound, I didn't like it as much as Down Below, but I still give it a very positive review, mostly because I thought the songwriting was really good. They still had a great, very distinct sound to it, and this album had a really unique, more emotional and tragic sound to it that I thought was pretty cool. Now, it's been a few years since then. They dropped this EP a couple of days ago, and the singles leading up to this thing, holy hell, they sound fantastic. Let's chat about this thing. This EP starts off with the title track, Hamartia, and yes, this is absolutely the ticket. This is a triumphant, blistering start with soaring guitars, pounding drums, in-your-face vocals. And yes, this is Tribulation by the books, but if you, like a few others, were maybe a little let down with the sounds of their last album, the more tragic, sorrowful sounds of their last album, you should definitely check this out. It's thundering, it's brutal, it's campy as shit, and you can argue that Tribulation are taking just the classic heavy metal sound and sprucing it up a little bit, but my god, they do the fundamentals so freaking well. I love this track, I love this band. Axis Mundi, on the other hand, is a lot more technical of a track than I'm used to hearing from the band, but that doesn't make it bad at all. I mean, the guitars on this track, they do not want to sit still. Yet again, the formula here, it's so simple. Soaring guitars, guttural vocals, this epic, larger-than-life vibe, but my god, do they do it good. It's very grim, it's very apocalyptic, but like most Tribulation tracks, it is just melodic enough to really stick with you. I mean, if you are slacking in your modern metal, I always push Tribulation in that direction, but honestly, give this EP a listen. This might be metal EP of the year. I mean, the solos on this track are to die for, and once again, the attention to detail, the little details like the striking clock and the bells in the background just make me so happy. And Vengeance, the Pact, which is a Blue Oyster Cult cover, I've enjoyed the hell out of this thing since it dropped. I think if I had to choose a favorite track here, it would be this. It has a mystery and a mystique and just, I don't know, just this grandiose vibes to it that I just crave in modern metal so much. And listen, it is easily the most overly campy track on this EP. If that's not your thing, I understand it, but it is mine. It's also the most melodic track on here. And yes, it does get heavier in the second half, but once again, if you don't like your metal melodic, you may not like this EP either. But I love the huge chorus, the shouted vocals, hell yes. If I had to nitpick though, Hemoclysm, it's easily the weakest track here, but it's not bad. I mean, this EP as a whole seemingly is a pretty big venture for the band. They're trying a lot of new things here, but this is by far the biggest experiment. It's easily the most technical track here, and it actually really takes its time getting rolling too. It takes almost 2 minutes. Now, it is one of the more nasty and vicious and gnarly tracks here, and that's a good thing. But it's not as epic and gaudy and larger than life as some other Tribulation tracks, which for some of y'all might be a really good thing. But I personally just wish they took this track just a little bit further. That solo is great though. But yeah, this EP is just fantastic. I mean, I thought leading up to it that I was gonna love the hell out of this thing, and I do love the hell out of this thing. Tribulation have been on such a roll, and this EP, I mean, as cliche as it sounds, is really the best of both worlds for the band. And yeah, that's a big cliche, I am aware. But if you think about it, it is very true, because you do get the nasty and gnarlier side of the band. You get them trying some new things, but it's also very epic, very gaudy, and incredibly campy. It's just melodic enough to stick with you. It may be metal EP of the year, especially in the noisier sections of rock right now. But for now, I'm feeling a light 8 on this thing. I think this is great. But let me know what you all think down below. If you like the video, be sure to give us a like, give us a subscribe, and let me know down below what you would like for me to chat about in the future. And until next time, have a great day, friends.